I had a very hard decision to make. Would I leave her in the loving, capable hands of several armed madmen out in the middle of the wilderness? Or would I risk life and limb to bring her home? 23 days. I have 23 days to gear up and rescue Peck's daughter. Are her captors a group of tribal raiders? No. A few lightly armed mercenaries? No. Her captors are a pair of heavily armed marauders who not only have turrets, but apparently have some low-grade artillery as well. Cassandra's decided that my bolt action and revolver are more than enough to handle this mess, and you know what?
Cassandra can go fuck herself.
I had 23 days to get ready, and that's without factoring the travel time. If I had to walk, it was going to be closer to 19 days and a couple of hours. I had less than 3 weeks, and I was going to use them. For starters, you might notice my prisoner from last video is gone. Feeding prisoners takes time and resources. Dragging them to a pit and forgetting about them takes 15 seconds. I know it's wasteful, but turning her into kibble would have put all of my colonists at risk of having a breakdown. You do a little impromptu cannibalism, and apparently it's the end of the world to these people. The first thing I needed to work on was my gear. My colonists were the Great Value brand of special forces, and their armor was... well, they didn't really have any. I had a vest and I had a helmet they got to share. Luckily, the hasty slowpoke left this comment on the last video, and I decided to take it to heart. I started by getting my research going and getting a tailoring bench up. I had very little time, and I needed to be as efficient as possible. Everything keeps going when there's a disaster, meaning I had to prep while still managing the day-to-day stuff, including my constantly empty freezer. But that was about to change. A Muffalo wandered onto the map, and my heart began to race. Not because Muffalo sounds like a euphemism for feminine fungal infections, but because that is one beefy boy. Not only would we be set on food, but that thing was big enough that all of my colonists would be able to wear it. And the White Sound Pact sent me a raider with a shitload of food to celebrate my successful hunt. Thank you, strange tribemen. You truly do make things on this hell rock bearable. Then, a caravan from the Omasana Accord came. So many people, so many supplies, so many guns. I had an idea. You're not supposed to poke bears, mostly because they're godless, soulless killing machines incapable of compassion. Megasloths are exactly the same way. Don't let their dopey, sleepy smile fool you. Underneath that shit-smeared coat lies the four-chambered heart of a monster. These creatures are an affront to the gods of every known religion. They're also extremely profitable, especially when you fight them with absolutely no risk to yourself. Yeah, I lured them into the caravan. Worst case scenario, they take a few scratches killing this thing for me. Best case scenario, they take a few casualties killing this thing for me. The armor and clothes would be tainted, but that was fine. I just needed the weapons, and this was a great way to test our friendship. It turns out the caravan is way better armed than I am. I'm not sure the sloth even left any scars on them. Also, Virus decided throwing Molotovs at my wooden house was the best way to kill this thing. Nope, that's fine. Don't help me. I'll put it out myself. Thanks. I tried again with a rhino, but it didn't even make it to the house. At the very least, it was a lot of free leather. A raider named Lucier arrived and was killed. A few days later, his dad crash-landed next to my house. Apparently, he wasn't too broken up over his son's passing. Rimworld's family tree system is completely fucked. I got my smithing table up and running, and I made a couple of helmets. This was it. I was out of time. I had to go now. Hansrime, Noble, and Soto were going out to go get Vex, and they were taking a random horse I found with them. I still had shit-tier weapons, but now I had body armor on a few of my colonists. Just because the enemy base is strong doesn't mean the raiders have good gear. I'll be fine, right? 2 turrets, a mortar, that guy is wearing a fucking power helmet, and that one has a force field generator. And, as a friendly greeting, this whole thing started with them throwing a can of napalm at me. Great. Love it. Glad to be here. Luckily, the AI pathfinding in this game likes to eat lead paint as a snack. The melee guy rushed me and quickly discovered bullets kind of hurt. All that was left were the turrets and Ramos. Ramos has a fully automatic weapon. Cassandra, what the actual fuck did I do to you? Luckily, Ramos is a smooth-brained mouth breather and just kinda ran around in circles. But that was it. We won. Vex was safe and we could get her home. That's the end of the story, right? So, hey, did you know your colonists can get infected wounds? Did you know they're extremely hard to treat on the open road? Did you know colonists will visit the graves of their fallen friends? Did you know I adopted a rhino named Wumples? He was a good boy, but for some reason he just wouldn't stay in a pen. He wasn't able to be house trained, so I wasn't able to care about him. But that's besides the point. Soto, the naked man who rushed my base so many nights ago, was now 6 feet under. Hansrime took it the hardest. So hard that he was now banging Vex only 2 rooms away from her dad. But Cassandra decided I wasn't done with Peck's family, because apparently his wife was laying beaten and broken in the middle of a field. Some degenerate named Humps had ambushed her with a stick and was using her as bait. I'm not really sure what the plan there was. Thanks for the aiming experience, Humps. You really are a selfless soul. I started patching up Tidy. I wanted to fix all of her injuries and get them wrapped up before we started traveling, but, no, Smokey. No, I'm good. I got Tidy home, which is a great name because honestly, that's the only thing I needed her for. My house looks like shit because it's constantly covered in shit. So, she was going to be on cleaning duty as soon as she stopped falling out of the bed. Research and innovation carried on. I planted more crops, I expanded my power, I built a wall. I was the lord of this land and my rule was absolute. I grow the smoke leaf, I make the decisions. Also, about that wall, I'm not really sure if this is a decent tactic or not, but it kept the rabid golden labs out of my house. Fun fact, animals who are mad with rabies don't just leave if they can't reach your house. They just kind of loiter for a while. I didn't know that. The White Sound Pact Raiders also didn't know that. This one lost his entire leg to Ol Yeller's Scaria-infested jaws. This one lost all of her bodily fluids to a combat knife, and this one has good enough stats that she gets to go through the Skater Boy rehabilitation program. The quickest way to recruit raiders is to just keep piling random shit in their cell. Look at that. What even is this? The marker from Dead Space demands your compliance. Surrender yourself to Space Jesus. Honestly, she's been a model inmate in that cell of hers. No fights, no outbursts, no anger. She was getting a little grumpy because it was hot in the cell, so I decided to build her an air conditioner. I didn't really think that through. Ah, shit. Let's just put you back in there. That's fine. More raiders showed up. They're starting to have better tech than me. I wasn't expecting them to just drop pod their way outside my house. I stabbed one of them to death, and the other one just decided it wasn't worth the trouble. Alright, have a nice walk home. Thanks for testing the wall. This colony's been through a lot, but most of this has just been a build-up to my main goal, which was getting this baby set up. I keep killing all the raiders who attack me, which means I can't sell their inside bits. I can, however, just start mass-producing narcotics. I've also been hoarding biofuel. It turns out you can milk the male boomalopes. You go ahead and enjoy that mental image. May it bring you comfort and dance through your thoughts while you wait for the next episode, because this one's over. It's not my longest video, but I've got other projects I need to work on for the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. This really has been a learning experience for me. I might try to beat the game, but I don't know if I'll actually live long enough to manage that. A huge thanks to my supporters on Patreon. You're the lungs and kidneys that keep this operation going. We just passed 1,800 subscribers, and it looks like we'll cross that 2,000 line sometime in the next few weeks. You're all amazing, and I hope your internal organs stay safe. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all next time.